Hello and welcome to the Bison Basketball Show. I'm Shawn. A busy and grueling stretch for the NDSU men's basketball team, playing 3 games in 7 days, trying to stay atop of the Summit League standings. It all started last Thursday night at home, taking on Fort Wayne, the Summit League preseason favorites. It was a rematch of the Summit League semifinals with over 4,100 fans in attendance. Kai Cabellis, the huge first half for NDSU, launching and hitting the long 3 from the top of the key for an early 8-point lead. Later, with the shot clock winding down, stepping back, knocking down another tough jumper, Cabellis scored 19 points in the first half and finished with a career-high 25. Paul Miller also got rolling, the junior, a career-high 7 3-pointers in the contest. NDSU leads a high-scoring first half, 49-42. Things tighten up in the second half off the miss. Dexter Warner there for the tip-in. Warner, 11 points and 8 rebounds. But the Dons would rally behind the hot shooting of Mo Evans. He was 6 of 8 from long range, had a team-high 28 points. Fort Wayne builds a 7-point lead. But the Bison answer, A.J. Jacobson driving in for the lay-in plus the foul to cut the lead to 3 with 3:36 to go. But play would be halted for 10 minutes as the fire alarms went off. Neither the crowd or teams were forced to evacuate, but officials had to wait for the system to reset. Bison would continue to roll, up 1 with 1:40 left. Miller, another tough triple. He scored a career-high 33. Fort Wayne gets within 2 with a chance to tie, but John Conchar would dribble it off his foot out of bounds with 14 seconds left. Senior Carlin Dupree would put the game away with 2 clutch free throws, and NDSU wins a wild one. 89-83 the final. The two teams combined for 29 3-pointers on the night. The Bison picking up the 5th conference win of the season.
We wanted to come out and really get off to a hot start, and I think Kai especially did a tremendous job of that, getting us off to a hot start. And then I thought we did a great job of maintaining that kind of through the whole game.
It was just a great atmosphere, and the guys, we played together as a team, and we played good defense down the stretch, and were able to pull it out.
The crowd was huge. Even when we got a fire alarm, the student section is chanting. So huge props to them tonight. The fans showed up, and they definitely made a difference.
The Bison, a tough turnaround, hitting the road to Western Illinois less than 48 hours after the victory over Fort Wayne. But there was no hangover. Kai Cabellis, sweet bounce pass to Dylan Miller for the 2-hand jam, and an early 12-4 lead. Later, Tyson Ward left all alone for 3, and he knocks it down. The freshman 4 of 5 from the floor and finished with 11 points. The herd continues to roll. Ward outside to a wide open A.J. Jacobson. He buries another triple. Jacobson 6 of 7 from outside the arc on the day. The onslaught continues. Carlin Dupree yet another 3. NDSU shot 56% in the first 20 minutes. Dupree chipped in with 12 points. It's 48-22 at half. The Bison do not let up. Cabellis spinning in the paint to start the scoring in the second half with the short jumper. Then Jacobson going back to work, posting up inside, spinning back to his right, going off the glass. He matched his career high with 23 points. Up 30 with under 10 minutes left. Cabellis missing the lay-in, but Miller there again to stuff it home. He tallied a season best 11 points. Paul Miller would also add 4 trays on the afternoon as well, including this long bomb. NDSU shot a school record 81% from 3-point range in the contest and rolled by 32 in the victory. The 89 points scored were the most scored on the road by NDSU since November of 2013. NDSU returned home to host Oral Roberts to close out the first half of the league schedule. Senior Carlin Dupree scored 11 of the Bison's first 17 points, going 3 of 3 from outside the arc. Spencer Eliason played extended minutes due to some foul trouble on Dexter Warner and Dylan Miller. The up fake inside and lay in, NDSU up 24-18. Later, Paul Miller elevating on the baseline, connecting on the jumper. Miller just 9 points on 3 of 11 shooting, 32-26 Bison. But Oral Roberts would end the first half on a 15-0 run. Aaron Young hitting the corner 3. Golden Eagles looking for their first road win, up 41-32 at half. They continue to roll early in the second half. Albert Owens, a huge night, running the floor for the big jam. He had a game-high 28 points. But NDSU would rally in the final 10 minutes. Tyson Ward big off the bench. hits the triple to cut the lead to 4. Ward 12 points and 8 rebounds on the night. Then Miller driving, kicking out to A.J. Jacobson to give the Bison the 62-60 lead with the 3-ball. Down the stretch, senior Dexter Warner took over. Played only 2 minutes in the first half with foul trouble, hitting the tough layup inside for a 70-66 lead. Then with under 1:30 to go, Warner somehow getting the jump hook to fall off balanced. He scored all 19 of his points in the second half, and the Bison come from 13 down to win 81-71, improving to 7-1 in conference play. The Herd shooting 21 of 24 from the free throw line.
It's definitely big for us to be able to just kind of find a way to win some of these tougher games, especially with teams going on those runs. So I think it says a lot about our guys just being able to respond to adversity and just keep finding ways to win, and in different ways too. It's tough getting those fouls. Us in that first half, obviously, but then at the same time, your legs are pretty fresh for that second half. So just come out and play as hard as you can, because obviously I had the legs for it. So just go and I'll just try and spark some energy.
It's what our coach says when it's 3 minutes left. It's Jason Miller time. So it's the last minutes and you're tired and you just got to push it. You just got to push.
The Bison now get the week off before starting the second half of conference play at IUPUI on Wednesday before hosting South Dakota on Saturday, February 4th. Stay with us. Much more to come here on the Bison Basketball Show. We check in with NDSU men's coach Dave Richman to recap the past week and get a state of the program moving into the second half of league play.
The Bison Basketball Show on Midco Sports Network is presented by Nodak Mutual Insurance Company and Mincoda Windows.
Welcome back to the Bison Basketball Show. We are now joined by NDSU men's coach Dave Richman. And Dave, another successful weekend, a tough trip after a big win against Fort Wayne last week. Can you just talk about the turnaround? Amazing how the guys were able to shoot it and play with so much energy with 2 games in 40 hours pretty much.
We're thinking about changing all of our games to that. You go back to our UND game or our game at North Dakota, and it was the same thing. Wednesday, we were at home versus UC Davis, turned around, and Friday we're at North Dakota, and we played pretty well up there too. But really a ton of credit to our guys, make no mistake about it. That is a tough turnaround. We didn't even really talk about it. We wanted to eliminate all excuses. We didn't even talk about excuses. We just talked about it being the next game, and our guys were locked in. You could see it Friday night and turned around Saturday morning with a quick turnaround, and really came out from the start. And I thought we threw some punches in a competitive way, and then we never relaxed, and that was that next step for our guys.
And I know it was the highest point total on the road for your team since November of 2013. Was there anything special behind that, or all the Pistons just firing at the same time for some reason at Western?
Again, I think you just credit our guys. They were locked in, dialed into what we needed to do, and they executed the game plan, and we really took it to them. I thought we gained some confidence, and again, it was a lot of guys contributing. You know, Paul was terrific again. We got some great production from Dylan Miller. Kai was good, Kai was solid, and then A.J. Jacobson was just terrific, and it was fun to see him see the ball go in the hole.
Midway point now of the Summit League schedule. 8 games gone, 8 games remain. You got 4 at home, 4 on the road. Surprised where you are, not surprised where you are, combination maybe?
Pleased. I think anytime you go into the halfway point and you're in sole possession of first place, we'll certainly take it. But also very encouraged that our guys, one of the things that you and I talked about early on in the season, we weren't handling prosperity very well. And I think now our guys are understanding the urgency of every game, and they're going out and competing with that urgency against that particular opponent on that particular night. And really a focus of it's about us, it's always about us. And so encouraged, but at the same sense, we can't relax. There's just no time in this league to relax. And everybody, and you look top to bottom, in the league standings, everybody's a player, especially on their home floor.
Number 1 in turnovers per game in league, number 1 in field goal opponents percentage in the league. Rebounding is probably the one thing I know you probably still want to focus on most you're going into the second half.
Yeah, those are the staples. You know it, and we're going to keep talking about it because it's what's important to us, and it's what's made us successful. In particular, this time of year, down the stretch of conference play into the Summit League Conference Tournament, and we are our numbers are at the top defensively. I'd still like to see us clean up some things. We are doing a very good job of taking care of the ball, and again, our guys are understanding and valuing that. And I think as we continue to get better defensively, which there's still plenty of room, that will continue to clean up our rebound numbers, and I think you saw that a little bit at Western Illinois on Saturday.
You have the weekend off. It's 3 games in 7 days. It's a tough stretch. You guys were able to get through that still the way you were. Now you get the weekend off and then hit the road to go to IUPUI. How important is this break for your guys at this juncture?
Well, it's kind of that 6 and 1, half dozen and another. You're in a good rhythm. You're in a good flow, and you want to keep that. But in a sense, it is that halfway point, and hopefully it's a time for, you won't hear me say the word get comfortable, you won't hear me say the word relax, but to recharge real quick, maybe get their legs. A couple of guys got nicks, bumps, and bruises. If there's some time that we can get them to, relax. But the second half of the season, with the big target on our back, being the first place team in the league, we're going to get everybody's best shot, but that's what we want.
Good place to be going into the second half of the schedule, Dave.
We'll take it, but we want to remain there. That's the most important thing as we finish this out.
By the way, 3 guys now shooting over 45% from three-point range in conference on this team, so very impressive start shooting the basketball as well. Stay with us, much more to come here on the Bison Basketball Show. We check in with Shawn and Walseth and take a look at the Bison women's game at IUPUI this past weekend. Hello and welcome back to the Bison Basketball Show. The NDSU women's hoop squad started off conference play strong at 3-1, but it's been a bit of a tough stretch for the Bison, trying to get back on track at IUPUI this past Saturday. In the first half, the Jaguars jumped on NDSU early. Sydney Hall, with the steal, goes all the way in for the lay-in and a 29-14 lead. The Bison would rally with a 16-4 run to end the half. Taylor Thunstead knocking down the 3. Then in transition, Thunstead to Sarah Jacobson. She hesitates and then hits another triple to cut the lead to 6. The next possession for NDSU, Riley Jacobson going strong to the basket, hitting the tough shot off the window. She had 15 points off the bench, and it's 34-32 at the half. Second half, Jacobson finding Indianapolis native Brianna Jones on the screen and roll for the lay-in, and that would tie up the game. Later in the third quarter, Thunstead from way outside and again connecting from long range. She had 15 points on the night. NDSU leads it by 1. Fourth quarter, off the miss. Jones there for the offensive rebound, put back in foul. She recorded her 4th double-double with 12 points and 10 rebounds. But IUPUI would control the final 10 minutes, ending the game on a 19-6 scoring run. Holly Hoopengarner to Daniel Lawrence for the lay-in. Lawrence a game-high 27 points, and the Jaguars hold off the Bison 71-58. The Bison out-rebounded IUPUI 33-24, but committed 20 turnovers in the loss. NDSU dropping to 3-4 in Summit League play. We now welcome in head coach Shawn Walseth. And Shawn, just one game this past week, going on the road at IUPUI, down 15 out of the shoot, but rallying back to take the lead midway through the third quarter. Pretty good fight out of your team to take on a team that's been really good at home.
IUPUI plays very well at home, and they're very aggressive defensively. We were on our heels a little bit, but I am proud of the resiliency and the determination to get back to playing how we can play and how we can be successful there in that third quarter.
How important was that to see your team play well for a stretch there, really strong stretch of basketball after what happened the last couple of games, where a couple of games that got away from you a little bit?
Yeah, I was very impressed with our ability to handle their pressure. We were rattled at times, but at times we were able to do what we can do and kind of get back to how we were playing maybe 2 weeks ago or so. So I was happy with some of the progress that we made.
Riley Jacobson back, came off the bench, provided a nice spark. Really seems like she's getting back in the flow, got her feet wet against Omaha last week. How nice was it to see her come in and do what she did, 6 and 9 from the floor, 15 points? I
was very happy to have her back in the lineup, obviously, but also for her to play with a little bit more confidence and play for a longer duration. And it was about her, not just giving somebody else a blow. So I was happy to see her play well.
You did out-rebound IUPUI 33-24. That's really been a strength of your squad so far when you look at it. You're leading the league in rebounding. That's one thing that you can build on because you have not had a lot of post players to do a lot of rebounding the last few weeks.
We ask for everybody to rebound, and for us, it's about limiting other people's opportunities while getting ourselves extra opportunities. So that is something that it's difficult to practice, but it's definitely a conversation piece.
And Brianna Jones in that area is 3rd in the league in rebounding at 9 a game. I think maybe goes under the radar a little bit, 4th double-double against IUPUI. Almost at the official midway point in the league now. It's hard to believe it's kind of flown by in some ways it hasn't. Where you guys are, right around the 500 mark, right around middle pack of the league. You're still in a decent position here to make a second half push and get yourself pretty good seeding in the tournament.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think that's something that it's a conversation piece amongst the staff. It's not quite a conversation piece with the players yet. We're going kind of game by game and individual improvement and team improvement from our team, but understanding that we are about halfway and kind of where do we want to be and where are we reevaluating ourselves and what areas can we tighten up and tweak a little bit to finish strong.
At South Dakota, the second time you've played the Yotes, obviously we know what happened the game here and probably going to be looking for some revenge. Then you got to come back and play Oral Roberts for the first time. That's kind of unique how you play one team twice before another team first, but an important week for you guys before hitting the road and then coming back home.
It is, and we're looking forward to going back to South Dakota. Obviously, we can look at our game versus them the first time to gain some confidence, but it'll be, as you say, maybe a little bit of a revenge game. We can expect their best effort yet again, and then looking forward to coming back to play Oral Roberts on our pink game.
All right, good luck against both squads this week, and we will talk to you next week.
Sounds good, Brian. Thanks.
All right, Mara and Walseth here joining us on the Bison Basketball Show. Stay with us. We will check in with one of the new assistants on the men's side. That's Will Veasley. Had a very successful career at Butler as a player, trying to bring that culture to Fargo. That's coming up next. Welcome back. Culture is an important part of what Dave Richman has built in his third season at NDSU, and new assistant coach Will Veasley knows all about a strong culture. He played in 4 consecutive NCAA tournaments as a player at Butler and also the 2010 Final Four. This week we go one-on-one with the Bison assistant coach. Welcome back for another edition of One-on-One. We are joined by Will Veasley, one of the new assistant coaches here on the NDSU men's basketball team. And Will, for you, this is really your first assistant coaching job. You've had some other roles in Division I programs, video coordinator and also director of basketball operations. How has this changed for you, taking over more of a positional coaching role?
You know, it's a lot different actually. Used to behind the scenes, you know, getting teams to where we got to go, scheduling, practice, stuff like that. Now I'm more hands-on. I'm on the court. I get to work with guys, breaking down film and actually delivering it for scouting reports and things like that now.
Now you come from Butler. Pretty good basketball tradition. You're actually the winningest player in Butler basketball history. What does that mean to you? That's pretty special. 4 straight conference championships. You went to the NCAA tournament 4 straight years. That's a pretty special career for you.
Definitely. No, it is. It means a lot. Those 4 years were definitely special. Lots of memories. Lots of friends that I still keep in touch with and every now and then like to revisit about.
2010, national championship game. It comes down to the very bitter end. I know it must have been a thrill to play in that game. I'm sure you still wonder, though, had that shot fallen at the end from Gordon Hayward, things might be a lot different.
Oh, man, if only. You know, I still get stuff from guys that'll text me and be like, hey, I saw the Gordon shot on TV. But no, like you said, it was amazing to play in that game. Definitely a highlight of my career, just playing the national championship. And then just being able to share it with family and friends and stuff that got to make it down for the game.
How do you take that experience and bring it here? Because it seems like the cultures are very similar in terms of what's important to each program between Butler and North Dakota State. Are pretty similar, right?
Definitely. And that's one of the things that attracted me to Coach Richman and the program, just how similar Butler and North Dakota do things. You know, from the accountability stance to the way that, you know, the players that we look for. And I think just playing at that high of a level, I think it just gives players a confidence in me and just, you know, it gives me, I guess, a little credit that I've done it and played at the highest of levels.
All right, footwork. If you're coaching me, what do I need to make sure I get my footwork down? What is the biggest key? Because I'm a big guy. I don't work a lot as a guard.
Well, the first thing we work with is, you know, if you're a right-handed shooter, we instill left-right. Left-right. Your left foot's down and your right foot's back.
Is this wrong?
This is wrong.
See, I'm a lefty, so that's why I got this wrong.
That's right. That's right, actually. You're right. You're right. Yep. Left foot's front, right foot's back. All right. And then that's just, with that, we can do a number of things. We can attack, we can catch and shoot, we can still pass, we can pivot. And we just, with that, we want to get down to keeping it simple for them. You know, always playing and pivoting on our left foot. Just with that, we know that we can, like I just said, we can pass, we can shoot, we can dribble, we can be on the attack at all times.
All right, sounds good. Now, you played overseas as well. You played in Japan. What an experience that must have been for you. And then you played in the D-League for a while. What was that like playing professionally? I know that's a different deal.
Definitely.
Definitely a different deal.
Definitely. You know, I don't got to go to class. No, you know what? That was, it was a lot of fun. You know, and it also taught me a lot. You know, doing that for a living, you know, it's definitely, it's cutthroat might be like, you know, a harsh word, but that just taught me even more. It's an everyday thing, you know. You're doing it for your livelihood. You got to come out every day, bring it. No matter, you're going to be sore, you're going to be tired, but it doesn't matter because there's always somebody looking for your job. But it was great. I mean, being in Japan, my now fiance got to come over and experience it with me. You know, just a different culture. You know, from that standpoint, basketball was still. I mean, it was basketball. You know, I adapted that pretty well.
Sounds good. Thanks so much. That is Will Veasley one-on-one. Veasley played 2 years professionally overseas in Japan and in the NBA D-League before transitioning into coaching. Stay with us. We will be back to wrap up the Bison Basketball Show and take a look ahead after this timeout.
The Bison Basketball Show on Midco Sports Network is presented by Nodak Mutual Insurance Company and Midco Windows.
Back to wrap up this week's show and take a look ahead to some upcoming games. And the Bison men have the weekend off before starting off second half of conference play at IUPUI on Wednesday and then returning home to take on South Dakota at 2 o'clock on Saturday, February 4th. That game will be televised live on Midco Sports Network. On the women's side, NDSU will take on South Dakota tonight and host Oral Roberts at Shield Center at Saturday at 2 p.m. You can catch that game on Midco Sports Network as well. That's a wrap for us. We'll see you next week on the Bison Basketball Show.